All right, we're back with another pick'em video. It is Saturday, February 28th. I'm on the road. I got the lav mic if I sound any different right here. So I apologize about that, but we got some plays I'm really liking. That's what we're gonna run through in today's video. But first, gotta go over the recap of yesterday's video picks like we always do. Pretty much a wash of a day here. We win 2-2. One of our losers was like the worst read I've ever had in my entire life. Julian Strother for threes. I was like so wishy-washy on this play originally, and then I just ended up going for it. I was really between him and Christian Brown, but Christian Brown was like a plus 130 to go over his 1.5 threes. Christian Brown ends up playing 45 minutes in that game. He knocked down 3 threes, shot a bunch of them. Julian Strother got like pretty much benched 15 minutes, did not even hit a shot, didn't have any points. So that was my worst read. But Jalen Tyson, 41 minutes, 4.5 rebounds. I guess that was a bad read too. That was another one of our losses. He ends with 4, and he played a million minutes too. So again, the minutes was really the read with the people out, and they were out, and he got a ton of time, but he didn't get the rebounds because it was Mobley and Jared Allen gobbling up pretty much everything there. But we did have 2 winners. Baylor Shireman, he knocked it down really easy. I think he had it in the first half, ended with 10 points, massive blowout. With the Celtics and the Nets. And then Sir Thompson, this one was just so wild that it was even available. He had 8 rebounds alone, chipped in with 5 assists, and he also played a ton of minutes. So again, 2-2 in the day, pretty much a wash, but we will get back to it today. And it's kind of the same kind of slate, 5 games. So we'll try to pick and choose our battles here, but probably not going to give a ton of plays, maximum 4. Maybe more like 2 or 3 today. Let's jump into Props Madness to start talking about the plays. And the first one is going to be Luka Doncic going to his 30.5 points. This is kind of a lower line for Luka. Obviously been kind of hit or miss recently, but he's got a great pull-up matchup here, and that's kind of the main thing I'm looking at. He hit 43 points against this Warriors team back in October, so that doesn't mean too much. Obviously, the Warriors look a little bit different, but they have not been defending the pull-up very well. And you can see that in games that he's got these favorable matchups, that's where Luka's absolutely cooking. Obviously, Luka's going to do a lot of pull-up game right in the mid-range, whether it's mid-range within the 3-point line, from 3, whatever it might be. That's where he's going to kind of cook, and this is a perfect matchup for him to go out there and do that. You have Austin Reeves, you have LeBron, and when you look at these guys in the lineup, LeBron's not scoring as much as he typically does, and it's really Luka that's been able to do it throughout the entire season. Now, recently, obviously, been dealing with injuries. But he's been back for a few games now, so I totally expect him to be fine. The Lakers have a lot of bad press right now, so I think they come out here and maybe win by a whole lot, and hopefully that's a lot to do with Luka. I could also see LeBron having a pretty good game, and I'm just going to ride with Luka. I think if good things happen for the Lakers, it's going to be majority, Luka's doing here. You can actually see that in the stats too. If we go to like games that they're winning, let's just say games they win. In general, Luka's over this in 70% of those games. So if we're expecting a win, if we're expecting like a bounce back spot here for the Lakers in general, I might as well go to Luka, who's usually the driving force of that. So Luka, 30.5 points, get it done for us against the Warriors on the road too, which is great to rely on a star. Moving to the next play here, we're going to go to Amin Thompson. We went to his brother yesterday. He came through for us. So let's go to Amin Thompson here without Jabari Smith Jr. He's got a good matchup to do so. Going over his points here, 16.5 minus 110 is the price. But he's playing Miami Heat. They play with a ton of pace. They've been playing really slow and old teams recently, which is kind of why you're seeing no scoring from Amin Thompson. But he's also been doing a whole lot of other stuff. He's usually on the high usage player, which the best player on this team today, probably Tyler Hero, but he's kind of on limited minutes. So I think his energy will be able to be, expended elsewhere on the offensive end. And without Jabari Smith Jr., he's only seen 1 game without him. But in that game, he shot 18 times, and they really utilized him in that thing. But other than that, we're seeing a high-paced game, which is great for a guy like Amin Thompson with a high motor, very quick player, probably one of the fastest in the league. In these favorable pace matchups, we're going to get a much better hit rate, 66% of games going over this, and even the last 2 or 3 games he played with high pace, those are the games he's going over. Now, the hit rate on this obviously doesn't look great for the last 20 games, but we could see an absolutely different game plan for him without Jabari out there and playing. So again, he's capable of doing this. It's not like he doesn't hit this for the entire year. He can score the basketball when he needs to, and hasn't played these guys yet this year, but with the high pace, it should go hand in hand with exactly how he likes to play, and this team does not defend inside the paint very well either. So great matchup for him. It's going to get a little bit more offensive power for him too, because he doesn't have to do too much on the defensive side of the ball, and no Jabari Smith Jr., just going to give him a little bit higher usage. So Amin Thompson, I like his potential to score. Hasn't looked great, but I think we're getting a little bit of a discount on the line because of that. And again, I'll show the pace one more time. This is kind of when he's balling out. Moving to play number 3, we're going to go to Sandro Mamakhelishvili, a guy that we've gone to a couple times this season, and he typically comes through for us, but we're going to his 9.5 points here. Minus 115 is the price, and he's got a great matchup to go over against the Washington Wizards. Now, A couple games recently has not been doing too well, but that was against the San Antonio Spurs. That was against the Thunder, two teams that lock down the paint. Now he gets pretty much the worst defensive team all around. He can shoot some threes. He can do some damage down low, and we're going to get no Colin Murray-Boyles. He's doubtful right now. Hopefully he doesn't go out there and plays because then Sandro will get less minutes. But without Colin Murray-Boyles in the lineup, he's going to get more time on the court. Obviously, that's going to translate to a better hit rate. And he's played the Wizards, actually, without Colin Murray-Boyles a few times. 23 points in only 21 minutes. And he also played 33 minutes and dropped 13 on them. So I like this matchup for him. He's played pretty dang well against them. Without Colin Murray-Boyles, he's going to get a couple more minutes, probably around 24-ish minutes. So I'm looking at like 20 to 25 minutes in terms of the things on the filter sides. So when I guys see in games he's seeing 20 to 25 minutes, the hit rate here is looking pretty dang good, 75% hit rate. And this doesn't even take into account, like, obviously the Pistons are a tough matchup here. The Knicks are a much harder matchup than the Washington Wizards. So give him 20 to 25 minutes on the court and give him a team that he's already hooped and balled against. He can do it either way, three-pointers, down low, whatever it might be. He's just going to get a little bit more boost without another center on the court. And Sandro's come through for us before. Jakob Poeltl will be in the lineup, but again, he's one of the three centers and kind of in the rotation here. So, without Murray-Boyles, this looks great. Without Poeltl, this also looks great. So take one of the centers out of the rotation, and, Sandro's going to get a little extra time in the court. And when he's on the court, he's an offensive type of player. So score some buckets. If this is a blowout, it doesn't really matter. He'll probably still get his 24 or so minutes. And that's what I'm looking at today, Sandro against the Wizards. And I think that's going to do it. I think I'd rather get to a couple more plays, but I think I'd be forcing. So these are the three official video picks. I'll talk about a couple leans in just a second here, but we had Luka over his 30.5 points, minus 114. Amin Thompson over his 16.5 points, minus 106. I think he's going to really benefit from that higher pace that the Miami Heat like to play with. And then, of course, no Jabari. And then Sandro scores some points. So all just points, lines, overs. It makes a whole lot of sense. A couple guys that have been all-stars here. And then Sandro, who's been one of our best betting players for the entire year on this channel. So, a couple good guys to root for. And that's the three plays I got for you guys. But one play I was very close to betting, and this is more of a long shot one, is Brandon Pajemski to get some rebounds. 6.5 is plus 102. If you want to look at this double-double, it's plus 625 right now. He's had some monster rebound games recently. I also just like to see that he's been in, rebound chances are starting to climb up. That's kind of what I thought Brandon Pajemski would be doing all season when all these guys started to come out of the lineup. He's a really good rebounder when he's put in the right spots, and he's been in the right spots. Now, Draymond Green probably will play. We'll see if Porzingis plays. That might hurt him a little bit, but he's just put in that rebounder spot finally. He's a guard that loves to rebound, and he's actually rebounded pretty well against his team already this season. Had a game with 7 and had a game with 6. So that was one I was close to doing, the 6.5 boards for Pajemski. Or if you want to mess around with the double-double, plus 625, you can't really beat that value. And then a couple other ones for this slate. I was looking at fading Toumani Camara. He's obviously dealing with a ton of injuries for his team. No Denny, no Shaedon Sharp, and the hit rate on this is pretty much 50-50. But I think the Hornets could smack these guys around without those dudes on the court. The only problem is, not problem, but this is a great matchup for him to stay on the under. It's a horrible matchup for him to score. The only thing is I think he might just get the time on the court anyway. Even in a blowout situation, he might just play 35 minutes regardless. And if he's going to get 32 plus minutes, that's when the hit rate starts to climb up. But if they get blown out by a lot, I'd like to see, are any of these blowouts that he got, cooked by anyone? No, all these games are pretty close. So that scares me a little bit, him just getting a ton of time on the court regardless of the game. But I was looking at that 13.5 points under for Camara. And then really the only other play that was popping out to me was maybe an under on Jaime Jaquez. 22.5 just seems a little bit too high against the Rockets. I wouldn't put this in with the Amin Thompson play because we want it to stay, relatively close, so Amin at least gets the time on the court. But this is a horrible matchup for him to do, really anything. He likes to score at the rim. Very tough rim defense. This is a very, good defense overall. And there's no Norman Powell, but we do have, Tyler Hero in there. And with Tyler Hero in the lineup, he doesn't play as much minutes. Drops about 5 minutes per game here, and he stays under a whole lot. So with Tyler Hero in the lineup, he's got the high usage when he's on the floor. But at the same time, without Norman Powell, he's over this in 54% of games. So it's not like a huge, crazy hit rate. Norman Powell is out. That means Jaime Jaquez is going over. But he probably will get 25 to 30 or so minutes. We'll see the expected minutes, 21 to 31. He just hasn't been hitting this line. It's a tough matchup. So something I was thinking about, but ultimately did not get there. I think best price on this was pretty dang good. Maybe it shifted a little bit. I think DraftKings had this at minus 106 when I was looking at it. But if it goes too far down, I wouldn't go to it at all. But Jaime Hawk is definitely someone I was considering fading. But yeah, that will do it. I'm on the road, so not going to do a full slate breakdown. There's only 5 games too, so just keep an eye on the injury report. It's always a good call. And go to RotoWire. Check out the projected minutes if you want to see that. There's a link in the description down below, always for RotoWire if you want to check it out. But yeah, 3 official video picks, couple leans there at the end of the video too. Should be a pretty good day. I really like the 3 plays. They seem very simple, but the same research went into them. Again, I know I'm on the road, but these all just make sense. So I'm not tagging points or assists, points or rebounds, anything like that. I'm just going to the points for these players. And Amin Thompson, the hit rate doesn't look great, but he's in a really high-paced game. He hasn't seen one of those in a while. That's where Amin Thompson really thrives. And no Jabari is going to put the ball in his hands to score a little bit more. And like I mentioned, Tyler Hero is going to be the main guy that he's probably playing on the defensive side of the ball. And he's not a good defender. And on the other side, like Tyler Hero's probably going to be in a minutes limit. So Amin Thompson might not have to run around on the best player all night long. So really liking all of them. But Amin Thompson's hit rate didn't look great. So just wanted to extra explain that one. But yeah, I think I'm out of here. No slate breakdown, like I mentioned. Probably no video tomorrow. I want to get one out, but my train out of here is pretty early, so I probably won't be able to record. But if that happens, I'll try to do a YouTube post or something where you can see some plays that I put out there. And of course, if you want to join my Discord, the link's in the description down below just for all my plays. That would probably be the easiest, obviously, to do it. I'm giving everyone 50% off, $10 for your first month. It's all entertainment, but of course, it's a potential to make some money along the way, because we have a good track record of that. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Do all the good stuff, like it, comment something down below, subscribe if you are new, and let's have a winning day here, 3-0. That'd be nice. And I really hope you guys could hear me before, because this made a difference putting it actually up to my mouth rather than down here. I hope you could hear the entire video, but let me know.